In the back.
Bernd Arnold, German TV. He has to fight against Rasmussen. There are a lot of doubts now against Rasmussen. How is it for him to fight against Rasmussen?
For him, it's the same. He's in the race and he wants to fight against anybody, against Rasmussen also. And in the race, he doesn't think about anything else than about his rivals.
Tom Muster from Neues Deutschland, German daily. Alberto, there are a lot of rumors that connect you with a list of Operación Puerto. There are many rumors about that you left that list. Maybe explain for us how you could have been connected to that list, how your contact to Fuentes might have been, and also how your name was pulled out from the list.
At the beginning, his name came up. He says he was simply on the wrong team at the wrong moment. His name came up, and 1 week after, the UCI has examined all the details and took him off the list because they said that he had nothing to do with it. So the question was, a few weeks ago, he said in the Spanish newspapers that with everything that was going on in cycling, that he had lost a little bit his hope and his illusion in cycling. The question was, do you still feel the same? He says definitely not. He's here in the Tour de France, and he's if he would not have any pleasure in his job, he wouldn't have been ready for this race. He wouldn't have trained as hard as he did for this race. So he's definitely loving what he does, and it's a pleasure to be in this spot. The answer to the question, because after Plateau de Bay, he said the tour can finish for me today because I have reached all my goals. That's like the same thing. Everything happens in life. There's things that happen and things change, and right now he's in a position where he has nothing to lose. Yesterday he tried, and he's gonna try again. He says he has nothing to lose anymore, so he's definitely gonna be there for the spectacle of the race and try everything he can. What the result is, he doesn't know, but he's gonna try. The question is, what is really his biggest fear of Rasmussen? Rasmussen, he says, is a climber, the same type of rider as him, so it's very difficult to make a difference with him. But he feels that after the stage of yesterday, he feels a little stronger compared to Plateau de Bay. He said he felt that there was not a lot to do against Rasmussen. Yesterday he felt like a few times he had him in trouble. So Alberto definitely feels more confident, and he thinks that Rasmussen will have thought a little bit also about the difficulties he had yesterday. So he hopes that tomorrow he can continue that same line, his upgoing line, and Rasmussen's downgoing line. So the question is, what you're 2:23 behind now. How much time do you think you need to take away from Rasmussen to have a chance? His first answer is 2 minutes 23. But he's very, very aware that Rasmussen is strong. He's a climber. He's in good shape, and that it's going to be very difficult to first of all to take away some time if he can. He would feel that if he can start the time trial with a minute behind, he has chances to win. But it will all depend on how good Alberto is, and it will depend on the day, how the day is of either him if he's good and if Rasmussen is bad. We have to hope for both. Okay, so the question is, you're on a team which won 7 times the Tour de France. Have you talked with Armstrong, and if yes, what kind of advice has he given you? Yes, he has talked to him. After the stage in Briançon, Lance called him and gave him some advice, said that he was very impressed with the way he was riding and that everything was possible. So definitely a big motivation for him, and normally over the final weekend he's going to be with us. So it will be an even bigger motivation for him to do as good as possible. Really, I don't want to compare Alberto with Armstrong. I don't want to compare Armstrong with anybody. But I've said, and I repeat this today, that a lot of people have been asking who is the next Armstrong. I think he's sitting here next to me. He's 24 years old right now, and he's in the top of the Tour de France. He has won Paris-Nice, and I think his future ahead of this is very bright. Now, one thing is being there, getting to the top, and another thing is confirming. I think that's going to be the most difficult part of the story, to confirm on the bike, off the bike, dealing with all the kinds of pressure. But if we want to see some similarities, if you want an answer on that, I would say that he's a rider that is capable of executing a strategy, a plan. With Armstrong we had that kind of feeling when we had a certain plan. The team was good and he was able to execute the whole strategy. And Alberto has done the same in a few occasions. He did it in Paris-Nice. We had a whole strategy with the team, and he finished the job. And now the day he won in Plateau de Bay was a little bit the same. So that's the kind of things that make me think about Contador compared to Armstrong. Sometimes it feels like, for me in the car, it's like directing the race with a remote control. There's not so many riders who can attack. Until now it's only been Alberto and Rasmussen, and Levi has always stayed with the favorites, which was his role all the time. But as Levi said, he says that if we're now in a different position, we're definitely very satisfied with our Tour de France right now. And I could say the same thing as Alberto said on Plateau de Bay. If the Tour de France finishes today, we are very happy with what we have done, and we could go home. I don't want to go home yet, but I didn't have any problems managing the situation, especially because I know that Levi is a professional. And I said yesterday to some people of the press, Levi started as the leader of the team, and I feel a little bit bad for him, because he's doing his best Tour de France ever right now. And Alberto is in the team, and he's the sensation of the tour, and in Spain everybody's very excited. And I think we all forget how strongly Levi is riding for the moment. He would be in any other team the big star, and he's really able to deal with that situation very professionally. He knows that he's part of a professional team, and that our goals are very high, always the highest possible. And now with Alberto in that situation, as Levi mentioned, if we come into a situation tomorrow where we have to make some sacrifices, he's a pro, and he's going to do it. And from a management standpoint, for me, it's not a problem at all. It's not really been an issue.
It turned out that he was a part of the Operación Puerto, although he was acquitted. Alberto has been acquitted also. Did you have any reservations or discussions before signing Alberto, after him being mentioned in Operación Puerto as always, or also?
Reservations, no, because I talked with him immediately, and I knew what the deal was. I also talked with the UCI and with the juridical service of the UCI, and they have admitted that they made a mistake by mentioning Alberto in this case. So it's a whole different story.